Indiana County, it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. He is Jon Mozes, Altoona Curve. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. After that noise we just got on the line there, I have to ask Jon, did you just get struck by lightning or are you okay?
Nope, no lightning happening in Altoona. Everything's fine.
That's a good thing. All right. Hey, you've got a really big weekend coming up, and my goodness gracious, the Roberto Clemente event is going to be spectacular.
Yeah, looking forward to that tonight. We'll have Roberto Clemente Jr. in the ballpark. Roberto Clemente III is going to throw out our ceremonial first pitch for tonight's game. And then we will retire the number 21, and it's going to hang 21 feet above right field in honor of Roberto's memory. This is going to be a really fun night at the ballpark, and, if you're coming to the game tonight, be sure to arrive early. That presentation is going to take place about 5:50 tonight. Roberto
Clemente III is, 6 or 7 years old now?
That's what they say, and I am told that he has a big fastball, so we'll see it tonight.
Well, his grandpa sure did, so why not? Why not, indeed? And you've got Anthony, speaking of guys with a good fastball, Anthony Solomito's on the mound, right?
That's right, slated for tonight, and, Anthony didn't have a great start up in New Hampshire, a game that was suspended because of rain, and eventually canceled because of a rainout the next day. So the stats don't count, so we'll just ignore that it didn't happen up in New Hampshire. But, he's a guy with a big fastball, and like we've talked about, just 20 years old. And he's shown a maturity beyond his years to make his way to Double-A at this point in his career. He's a really good kid, and, he's slated to get back out there tonight, and with some good weather, I think he'll be right back on track.
How is it for you getting to know some of these guys who come up mid-season? You're getting a lot of new names, aren't you?
Yeah, it's funny. I was joking with one of our clubhouse attendants about how it's the second-half team arrived a couple weeks early this year. Look, it's great to get to know somebody like Anthony. He and I come from roughly the same area. He's from South Jersey. I grew up in Philadelphia. So the first day we met, we bonded over our Philadelphia Eagles fandom. We had him try the Altoona pizza for the first time yesterday, and he shared with us that it was the first time that he'd ever tried salami, and I couldn't quite believe that for a guy of Italian descent from South Jersey, but it's fun getting to know a new group of guys at this point in the year.
Really?
Yeah, I was blown away by that. He said he'd never had salami before, and he was like, you know what, this is pretty good.
There you go. Hey, another week in the trade deadline, so we could see even more shuffling, huh?
It's possible. Not quite sure what the Pirates are going to plan to do here. They're 12 games under 500 now, which, I think a lot of people from the outside would look at that and say, okay, maybe it's an opportunity for them to trade away a couple of players and sell a little bit at the deadline. So maybe somebody like Rich Hill or somebody like Carlos Santana could find himself on another team in a week or 10 days here. But one of the things that's really nice about the current group of Pittsburgh Pirates is that there are so many guys that have been in Altoona in the last 3 years. I mean, you look at the lineup they're rolling out the last couple of days, it's the same infield that suited up for Altoona on opening day just last year. Jared Triolo at third base, Leover Figueroa at shortstop, Nick Gonzalez at second base, and then, a combination of G-Man Choi and Carlos Santana at first base. So it's really exciting to see the young guys get an opportunity to play, and, I think it's a good strategy to give these guys some extended runway here in a season where the Pirates maybe won't be able to compete for a playoff spot, but, you need these repetitions, these young guys, you got to find out about them. And it's really fun to sort of see them early in their journeys in the major leagues and guys checking off first major league hit, first major league home run, like we've seen with Henry Davis and Jared Triolo and Nick Gonzalez over the last couple of weeks here. So looking forward to seeing these guys getting the opportunity every day. And, it's a great reason to come out to Curve, PA, because these guys, they're so close to the major leagues.
Yeah, when you stop and think about it, there's Jack Sawinski, who started last season in Altoona and ended up in Pittsburgh and didn't stop go. I mean, or didn't stop in Indianapolis. He went straight to the majors and basically has been there all along, just a brief trip back. But when you think about it, with the trade deadline coming up and the Pirates having called up so many young guys, there's a really good chance that they're going to try to restock a little bit in the minor league system. And so we might see some guys get pushed into Altoona, too. So that'll be interesting to watch. But meanwhile, you've got a lot of baseball to play this weekend. Besides the game tonight with the Roberto Clemente festivities, what else you got going?
Boy, tomorrow night, Saturday night, is our Christmas in July. We've got a Nutcracker giveaway that's going to go to the first 1,000 fans tomorrow night. Sunday night is post-game fireworks. It's also a scout night tomorrow, so if you're part of a Boy or Girl Scout troop, still an opportunity to get tickets and sleep over on the field. Give us a call today, and we'll get you set up for it. It's always fun having the Philadelphia Phillies affiliate in town. I know there's a few folks throughout Pennsylvania that also pay attention and root for the Phillies, so last opportunity to see the next wave of Philly stars as well this weekend at PNG Field.
This young Johnny Mozes, who thought one day that he'd be playing center field for the Phillies, does he have a little extra rooting interest in them?
Not exactly a rooting interest. I would say I am certainly interested to see what's on the way. Was pretty encouraged by what Mick Abel did last night against a pretty good Altoona lineup with 5 scoreless innings. We'll see Griff McGarry tonight, who was another high pick by Philadelphia with a big fastball. There's a couple of really good arms on this team. I'm not necessarily rooting for Reading to win. I'm just interested to see some of the guys that are on the team, but believe me, every night I want an Altoona Curve victory.
There you go. Hey, tell me a little bit more, because we talked about him recently a lot. Sung Chae Cheng, 3 hits last night, and the guy's a spark plug, isn't he?
Yeah, good to see Z starting to get his feet underneath him here. He's crossed that 20-game mark playing at Double-A, and he's just 21 years of age, right? So, you and I have talked about how players that play at this level at that age, it's an indication that they're having success against older competition, which, shows you that they have the talent to compete in the major leagues where the best talent is. So, with Sung Chae, it's about hitting the ball hard with more consistency right now, but he's got some great speed. He was caught on the bases for the first time last night. I think he's now 6 for 7 stealing bases since he's gotten to Altoona, and he can really catch the ball out at shortstop. Those guys are super valuable. I was talking about this with our bench coach, Gary Green, yesterday, about just how important it is to make the routine play defensively in the big leagues, that you have to know that any time a routine ground ball is hit or a pop-up goes into the air, and if it's a routine play for a fielder to go and get it, that you got to get the out, and the throw has to be on target. You can't make your first baseman work too hard for it, because these are the guys that have the most talent in the major leagues. So with Sung Chae Cheng specifically, I think he's done really well defensively early in his tenure here for Altoona. He's got great speed, so he can get the balls in the hole going to his right. And he's got the ability to play second base as well, sharing the middle infield with Leover Peguero when he first got here. And, he's got such great chemistry with Jackson Glenn in the middle of the infield, because those two guys played together at Greensboro for the whole year. That was the middle infield for the Grasshoppers for much of the season.
Yeah, Jackson Glenn is another guy that is kind of intriguing to me. But there's a bunch of them there with the Altoona Curve, and while we get the chance to watch them. Did you really want to play center field?
No, I wanted to pitch. I would have loved to pitch in the major leagues. That would have been really fun for me. But, eventually the game tells you no. Your body tells you no at a certain point, and for me, it was right after high school.
Yeah, were you a Schilling guy?
I did enjoy watching Curt Schilling. Yeah, I mean, he was the star pitcher when I first started to pay attention to the Phillies there in the late '90s. But I grew up on plenty of guys like Vicente Padilla and Randy Wolf and Omar Dahl on the mound, guys that I enjoyed watching. And then, somebody like John Lieber, I could never spin the baseball like him, but it was fun growing up rooting for the Phillies, and it was nice to see them finally get to the World Series when I got to college.
Well, when I grew up, I was watching the Pirates play the Phillies and the Reds. The big rivalries in the National League were the Pirates, the Phillies, and the Reds. And it was so much fun watching the Bucks against the Big Red Machine, and then those late 70s games against the Phils they were amazing. Lazinski and Schmidt and all of those guys facing off against Stargell and Parker. And it was just a lot of fun. Good time to cover some baseball. Hey, John, thanks for the visit today.
Thank you so much, and hopefully we could have some of that star power in Pittsburgh again soon.
Well, it won't be long. Won't be long. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com.